TV.
One of the things that we're finding is that, you know, when you're in a big family, mama puts dinner on the table. And if you're not at the table when the food hits it, there's a likelihood that you could end up eating peanut butter and jelly for dinner. So we feel that same way about scholarships. And so rather than waiting until the next school year to start this process, what you're going to hear tonight is that summer is go time. And we have some dates here. July 1st is where we'd like to see the college application process start. So these young men are starting at the beginning of July to put their applications together with the intention of having their first applications ready by August 1st to submit as soon as the doors come open. The second thing is ACT training. So we don't want our kids to have their ACT be the first time that they walked in, because there are a lot of things that go on. Some kids have never sat down for 3 hours to take a test and don't quite have that attention span just yet. That has to be trained. So we have several opportunities, one through Brother Ed Tarleton, who will be doing a workshop in Southeast Province and in Eastern Province over the summer. But also our Naviance program provides ACT and SAT training. And we're also going to find that there are local school districts, and maybe one that you're in, that also provides ACT, SAT preparation training. So we're going to talk about that a little bit. There's something called scholarship cultivation, where you're looking in different places for scholarship money. And we believe the scholarship cultivation starts from the inside out. So it starts in your local city or town, then you move out to the county, then you move out to the state, then you move out to national. And of course, we have the Kappa Foundation that gives scholarships every year. Now, I was one of the presenters at the foundation luncheon this last year, and they gave away $135,000 in scholarships that day. And I didn't see any Kappa Leaguers that received that. And my question is, how many Kappa Leaguers are applying for Kappa Foundation scholarships as the first place you go? That's the low-hanging fruit. So we're going to talk about that today. We also have what we believe are basic low-hanging fruit kind of situations, where we know that a 3.6 GPA, a 26 or above ACT, 2 AP credits, and community service puts you in the game to get a full ride scholarship at not only HBCUs, but PWIs all over the country. We also know that there are some states that have needs-based scholarships per state. So California has a program called the Blue and Gold program, where if your parents are making less than $82,000 and you get into a University of California system, they'll pay your tuition entirely, and all you're responsible for is room, board, and books. And we'd like to find out how many other states have programs like that that our young men can take advantage of. And then finally, there are many situations like National Merit Scholars, National Achievement Scholars, where our kids don't know that they can apply for those awards. And so getting our kids to apply for those type of awards then gives them another checklist on their college application, that not only are they working with great community service, but they're also award winners in a leadership capacity, as well as whatever else that they've achieved academically. So that basically is what we're going to cover tonight in a nutshell. But we have some brothers here tonight that can show us as a model what they're doing to bring success to their chapter, to their individual students, and to their community. And so we're going to start here with Brother Carl Cunningham from Mobile Alumni Kappa League, who is a member of the Sonic Boom. Brother Cunningham is leading a chapter that not only brought in $4.2 million in scholarships last year, but he sent me over a list that last year was not nearly their highest year in bringing scholarships in for the young men at Mobile Kappa League, which is where this discussion started, and trying to find out, are there things that we can do in our individual chapters that will help us to duplicate the scholarship acquisition success of Mobile Alumni Chapter? So, Brother Cunningham, I'm going to turn it over to you.
Thank you, Brother Jones, and good evening, everyone. Is everyone able to see the presentation? Great. Well, again, good evening, everyone. My name is Carl Cunningham. I am the Guy Wright Director for the Mobile Alumni Chapter Kappa Alpha Psi, located in Mobile, Alabama. A little brief information about our Guy Wright program. So we have Kappa Nights in our program from grade 6 through 8th grades, and we have about 35 guys who are in our program. It is in this particular program. We have 3 advisors that solidly work with our Kappa Night programs. And then in our Kappa League program, which ranges from 9th through 12th grades, we have 109 young men that we serve in our Kappa League program. And we have 6 solid advisors who advise this space with our Kappa League program. 60% of our participants are from income challenged communities. So you can extrapolate from that. Hold on. There we go. You can pull from that information, single parent, female, headed households, some situations in that space. Some of our kids attend challenging high schools, or they may have been in particular feeder patterns that were not good in regards from kindergarten to their high school. So all that information we pulled and we look at in regards to our young men in our program. And what I think what makes our program unique as well is that our Kappa Leaguers attend 16 different high schools, and that's public, private, and parochial schools. So managing that space is very important as well. And so when do we begin that college conversation with our young men? So that happens as the young men complete their Kappa League application. So when they're seeking to become a member of the Mobile Kappa League program, they have to complete an application, and then there's an interview process, and we ask them 10 questions. And I gave an example of some of those questions that we ask. Where do you see yourself in 5 years? Describe why you want to become a member of the Mobile Kappa League. What are your top 2 college choices and why those 2? And some of these questions, they don't know this, but we know this. We pull them from scholarship questions that are asked by colleges when you go on these college scholarships interviews. And so we began that prep early on in the onboarding process of the young men entering our Kappa League program. And so we also work with our young men once they are selected in building their social and cultural capital. We know that social capital and cultural capital is very important. And so we identify where our young men lack in some of these spaces. And so as we began the onboarding process, once they're selected to become members of our Guy Wright Kappa League program, we really work on self-identity and training. And so you see those presentations that we work on with them even before they are inducted into our Guy Wright program, because we understand once they are inducted into our program, they are immediately thrusted into this space, right? So we want to make sure they are equipped as much as possible on the onset to begin this process and this college prep type of situation. So our calendar year in our program ends on May 31st, and our new calendar year begins June 1. So in my years in doing this, I did not meet one summer, and it took us until October, November to get all our guys back on track. So as a Guy Wright committee, we said we would never do that again because it just took too long. We were in football season, marching band. So a lot was happening, and the guys really became disconnected to the process that we were trying to get them to buy into. So Our calendar year ends May 31st. June 1, our new officers would go into place and we will begin our calendar for that year. And so in the summertime, we use this time to prep our guys for college applications. We give them scholarship deadlines, kind of based on what we've already have collected. Updating resumes, we work with them during the summer to update their resumes, to completing service projects are very important so they can knock out their community service hours. And we do ACT prep during the summer as well. We have parent meetings with our parents. We have two, one in June and one in July, and another one in August. So we do 3 back-to-back Zoom meetings with our parents. So we talk about FAFSA. We even bring on college recruiters. Sometimes when we do our Zoom meeting with our parents to prep them on what's next and what's going to happen in that space. And then we do NCAA athletic workshops with our student athletes as well. And lastly, we do a Mobile Kappa alumni Zoom. And when I say that, those Kappa leaguers who are members of Kappa Alpha Psi, many of them, we set them up to come back and to have and hold conversations with our young men in our Kappa League program during the summer. ACT prep is very important in our God Right Kappa League program. We have 5 sessions throughout the year. We're lucky here in Mobile that our school system offers free ACT prep classes at their high school. And we make sure that our guys are signed up to take those classes. I will get a printout or listings of some sort from their counselors to see the other young men of our Kappa League program who have signed up to take these ACT classes. So that's important to have that relationship with the high schools as well. In Mobile County Public School System, our juniors take the ACT, which is a good thing because that gives them a year or so if they need to get those scores up as well. So we work hand in hand with our local school districts to assist us in this manner and to assist them as well. We do have a Kappa League ACT club. So those Kappa Leaguers that score 21 and above, we give them some type of prize. If you score 25 and above, you get some type of prize. And of course, if you score 28 and above, you get some sort of prize as well. So we have incentives for our young men in regards to their ACT scores. And we also have AB Honor Roll quarterly recognition where we give our young men incentive as well if they make all A Honor Roll or AB Honor Roll. So inside our God Right Kappa League program, we've created a very competitive space in regards to ACT and academics. We do encourage our guys to do summer enrichment and summer internship. And so we've partnered with the City of Mobile with the YES program. A lot of our young men participate in this summer internship program for the city. They're able to go out and work in various businesses within the City of Mobile. So they're building their social and cultural capital in that way. We also have a Mobile County internship program as well, where we have about 5 Kappa leaguers participate in that program. And then we have summer enrichment campus. So
like he's a man of achievement.
Hold on, nope. I'm sorry. Okay, thank you. I think we got it muted now. Go.
Okay, thank you, brother. And so we also encourage our guys to do summer enrichment programs. So we are linked in with our colleges within our city and in our state and within the Southeastern region, if they so choose to go to summer camp and summer enrichment camp. We do have some funds that we support our young men. If there's a cost, we may have to pay for transportation to get them to these particular college camps, but we always try to make sure that these camps are local or within the state of Alabama as well. Auburn University has been a great partnership with us in allowing our guys to attend many summer camps at that institution. So acquiring scholarships, we start locally with our young men in our God Right program. So we are very in tune and in touch with our superintendent of the Mobile County Public School System. We also work with other local school systems in the Mobile area as well. We have a high school principal, counselor, teacher luncheon or dinner. We hold that sometimes at the Kappa House, and or we take dinner or gifts to the high school counselors. That way, again, building those relationships with our local administrators in our high schools We build relationships with our local colleges and universities. We have about 4 colleges and universities within the city of Mobile, so it's important in Mobile County. So it's important we build relationships with those institutions. We build relationships with our city officials. They have access to internships and scholarship dollars as well. Our local NPHC organizations, we encourage our guys to apply for all the NPHC organizations as well. And I will say, I'm proud to say that our guys are always selected to receive those scholarships because they compete for them, and we prepare them to go in those spaces and to get the money. Also, local civic groups like 100 Black Men of Mobile, Links, Boulay, they have local scholarships as well. And lastly, I think places of worship. Some worship places have scholarships as well. My church, in particular, we have a Kappa League Sunday, and we have a brunch during Black History Month, and all proceeds from that brunch goes to the Mobile Kappa League, and we've been averaging $5,000 that Sunday, and that money goes to the Kappa League to pay for ACT prep, ACT college tours, and so forth. So you can reach out in many spaces in your local area to support your Guy Kappa League program. So then we move statewide, right? So we build relationships with college presidents, admission recruiters, band directors, athletic coaches, and alumni. And so it's important that you move from local to state and even to national in these areas. We do college tours, physical and virtual college tours. We learn how to do the virtual space during COVID, and we still do a lot of virtual college tours as well. And then one of the most important things is our Mobile Kappa League alumni connections. So we've built a strong alumni base with our young men who have completed our Guy program, particularly since I've advised. This is my 21st year advising this program. So we track all of our Kappa Leaguers as they complete our Kappa League program and go on to their colleges and complete their degrees and so forth. So we know pretty much where everyone is and what they have done. And so we really tap into our Mobile Kappa League alumni base to help mentor the current young men in our program. And so these are some scholarship dollars. We started keeping scholarship dollars in 2005. And I have to be honest, my mother, who's a member of Alpha Kappa Alpha, asked me one day, are you documenting this? And I said, should we? She said, I think you all should. And so in 2005, we started documenting scholarship dollars. They start turning that money in. And as you can see, in 2005, 6, 7, we were just trying to figure out how to work this system that we were really embarking on in regards to collecting data. And so as we start figuring it out, as you can see, the numbers begin to increase. We started pushing our Kappa Leaguers harder in regards to getting these scholarship dollars, making these networks on our end, really cultivating them to make sure they're able to speak for themselves and get these scholarship dollars. Our largest class, it was in 2017, they earned $12.4 million in scholarships. We had 23 seniors. That's a very unique class because most of them entered our Kappa League program as 9th graders. And so we were really with them for 4 years, and that made a big difference, as you can see, in that area. Thank you, brothers.
Okay, so Noops, you've heard his presentation. We want to open up the floor now. If you have any questions that you'd like to ask Brother Cunningham, I can start off with, you made a mention of community service hours for your young men. Is that part of the Kappa League program, or do they have community service hours outside of what you guys are doing?
So that's part of our Kappa League program. Our young men have to complete 25 summer hours minimum. Now, some of their high schools require them to do community service as well, particularly the private and parochial, not the public school per se, but to keep everybody on the same level in our program, we just make sure that all the young men have to do a minimum this summer of 25 hours of community service. And they
All
have
right.
to turn those in on August the 15th. They are due August the 15th.
Richard King, Ann Arbor. Your work with Kappa Leaguers on college prep. Would you do different things with freshmen and sophomores, and how do you approach them versus the juniors and seniors?
Great question. So we don't, so let me say the intake of our young men. So if you are in the 12th grade, we don't take 12th graders, right? We only take 9th through 11th grade. Our 12th graders, at that point, you've missed the opportunity to be in the program because of the resources that we pour into our 9th, 10th, and 11th graders. But in regards to 9th and 10th graders, they get the same information, which makes it great because in 9th grade, they're able to set goals where they need to be benchmarked. So we give our 9th graders, 10th graders benchmarks what they need to be hitting by the time they hit 11th grade and they begin really taking the ACT test in abundance. So we give them markers. Now our 9th graders sometimes are not mature enough to understand, what's happening. So they enjoy the college tours, but we see as they become older within our program, they become, of course, more serious about next steps because we're constantly having those conversations with all of our Kappa League programs. So you will see the seniors are very serious about taking the next step, and the 9th graders are looking at them. So there's a peer piece to that too, where our seniors really serve as leaders and guide our 9th and 10th graders.
Great, thanks. And the scholarship numbers, are those an individual? Does that cover all the colleges they got offers from, and they end up taking some part of that? Or I don't know, is that what that represents?
Yeah, they represent the scholarship offers that they've been offered.
Okay.
And which is great because our motto is like, get all the money that you can, get all the offers, and then we're able to spread them out on the table and what financially makes sense, right?
Right.
Some of those scholarships are competitive scholarships, right? Are you ready to compete to be on the football team, swim team, or in the Sonic Boom of the South, right? So all those things we have to discuss in regards to those competitive scholarships. I think the competitive scholarships are the most challenging ones because it's getting them to understand that you have to audition or try out for those scholarships pretty much every year.
And if I can toss something in here, one of the really important things that that I think you presented to us is giving goals to the incoming freshmen and sophomores so that they know where they need to reach. We have generally across the program, we have a floor. You got to keep a 2.5 or whatever it is at your chapter to stay active. But I don't know if all of us are creating goals for what the ceiling is. So here's your floor, but we also have a ceiling for what we want you to do. Brother Jones, Adolph Jones.
Good evening, brothers. I have a quick question for you, Brother Cunningham. In reference to, I'm from Lawrenceville, Duluth chapter in Georgia. The question I have is, how do you actually continue to keep the Kappa Leaguers engaged, especially from the young ones up into as a senior? What techniques are you using to keep them engaged?
Great question, brother. So we do a lot of incentives. So we do gift cards. We have some funds to do gift cards to their favorite eating places. Also, they know they get special treatment, at their schools. If you're in the Mobile Kappa League, that's a city name now. So the Kappa League has become a part of the city of Mobile's culture. And so when you say you're in the Mobile Kappa League, they've realized that they may get a chance to skip the line to go to something special. So that's important as well. They're asked to do so many special events within the city. And so that's important to them as well. So they've built in a system where they have fun, they have a great time with each other, and brotherhood is very important to them as well. Again, 60% of our guys come from challenging backgrounds. And so the support that they give to each other really makes this work. And again, our alums are so important in this space. So they connect with them when we have our Christmas alumni dinner. The Kappa Leaguers come and our alums, many of them fly in. They want to connect. with our current Kappa leaguers because they were in these positions as well. And I will say this, brother, as of now, I was crunching data last night. Since I've been advising since 2002, 107 of our young men have become members of the fraternity. And that's 107 guys that are a member of Kappa Alpha Psi. And we don't push them to pledge Kappa Alpha Psi. That's an individual decision. But when they do, we are excited. But that shows us the work and the commitment that we're doing is really making a difference in us as mentors and role models to them as a chapter. Is important. They grow up in this Kappa house. I'm at the Kappa house now. So they grow up in this space as middle schoolers, as high schoolers. They go to college, become members of the fraternity, many of them, and this is their home. And I tell our brothers here in our chapter that this fraternity house may seem like a fraternity house for us, but for many of our young men who come to this program, this is a safe space for them.
And Brother Cunningham, thank you so much. It was a fabulous presentation. And I want to encourage the brothers that, you know, it's a lot of information, so you might not be able to grab everything. It might not all apply to what you're doing, but if there's anything in here that resonates with you, that sounded like the ring of truth for your chapter, then grab it and use it. So I would like to now, we have talked about how a chapter can be successful in helping their students. And now we want to slide into the next part of the collective genius of Kappa Alpha Psi, which is we have a brother named Klein Smith that has an organization called Your Next Steps that actually works individually with students to help them get ready to get into college, to find scholarships, and to do find internships and jobs later on. And so without further ado, I'd like to introduce you to Brother Klein Smith.
Good evening, brothers. Good evening, brothers. Just a high-level overview. Another brother, Sean Duper, and I started Your Next Steps about 3 years ago. We've been doing this work for about 25 years and decided to formalize it with a 501c3 because we wanted to give scholarships. What we focus on is we have this concept of meeting the students where they are. So we are looking to help you find your passion. You know, what do you want to do? My question I asked them first is, what problems do you want to solve in life? What excites you? How do you want to make a difference? Once we start getting that concept and helping them to think through that, then we can start to play around with what majors and how do you want to solve that problem. So we don't start with a major. We start with a problem. We start with a passion. We start with an excitement, and then we do some assessments and some skills analysis and find out what kind of majors align with you. From there, we pretty much take you through the process of, you know, how do you get ready for college? You know, when do you start taking the SAT, ACT test? When do you start writing your essays, getting your plans together? When do you start applying for college? How do you apply for college? How do you visit colleges? And what our program really does is we allow you to sign up and set up a meeting with one of our consultants, and then we take you through what you need to do. We give you a checklist. We work with you. We have a partnership right now with the National Guide-Right Foundation, where we have 100, and most of you have heard this presentation, so I'm not going to go through it again, but we have, slots for 150 Kappa leaguers to just sign up and join our program. And what that is we're going to give you a guideline and a checklist and a structure on how to help these young men get to college. And that's going to be teaching them everything from SAT training, SAT prep, essay writing, filling out college applications and scholarships, understanding what colleges align with who they are, understanding what degrees align with who they are. And once we kind of tie that all together, we meet monthly and just see how they're doing. We're currently in 9 countries and 31 states. We have about 600 people in the program. And we work with them as they need us. And what we utilize is kind of like Brother Cunningham. We utilize the network that they already have with their school, with their city, with their state. And we show them how to tap into those resources. We have a mindset, like Brother Jones said, on August 1st, you have to apply for your first school. And by August 30th, we want the 10th school. And then from there, we just kind of work our way through it. We also have a plan and a program where you apply for scholarships starting in October. We want you to apply for 3 a week. And so not only do you get the school scholarships from an academic performance, you get the scholarships that will give you a whole list of scholarships you can apply for. We help you with that. And then we guide you through that process all the way until you take your acceptance. The second part of our program is once you get to college, we help you with finding internships and jobs. And we show you how to get your resume together, how to interview. One of the things that we have that I think separates, and I'm sharing my screen now, one of the things I think that separates what we do and who we are is that we have these advisory champions, and we have about 75 people from everything from architecture to real estate to public service to STEM to well-being. And every one of these resources here will talk to our high school students and our college students. And once again, it's all nonprofit, and they will help them think about, this is my line brother. He runs all of recruiting for a Fortune 500 company. And he helps them to talk to anybody they need to about anything. You just look at this guy right here is a chapter brother. He runs all of international finance for for the Far East. And so we have different people we have that they can talk to get a feel for what they're looking for. Not only that, we help them to have conversations about getting internships and jobs. So we utilize this extended network to really bring the student to thinking about what can they do in this field. So if I want to be a nurse, well, great. Now let's really talk about what it means to be a nurse. What are the 28 different positions that mean in a nurse? Because people don't know that in high school. Some of them don't even know it in college. So we try to give you a real feel for what they are. And the other thing we have on our site, and we hand them all of these things, right? Here are the resources. Here's the College Common App. Black College App is coming up here. We show you here are all the different sites for scholarships. And this will all be available. If you just click on this one right here, scholarships offered monthly by age, by gender, by minority. Let's go find African American, and you'll start to see scholarships every single month. And you see all these scholarships, and they go through them. You got to weed through them and you apply. April scholarships, May scholarships, et cetera, right? And there's so many more, right? So we take you through, we show you how to be successful, and then we follow up to make sure you're doing what we requested. When we're working with the guide right chapters, we're going to give you a checklist of all the things that you can follow up with them on. We'll have monthly meetings, but anyone who wants to sign up with our organization, it's free of charge to sign up. And that's really what we do. It's an individualized version of what Brother Cunningham does, but not at the same scale. He is more connected to that child and that student to get them from where they need to be. We're just too large. We take you in. I was telling the brothers, I've had 4 people call me in the last 3 weeks saying they want to go to college. I just had a meeting today with the lady, and we applied for 2 colleges. And this is May 1st, and that's late, but it's okay. We'll get her into college, we'll get her situated, and we'll get her accepted. So that's the nutshell of what we do. Most of the brothers on here should have our information. Hopefully you have the link. I will send out this website, this link, because here is the link to sign up for my program through Kappa League. And you simply click on the link, and the student goes right in here. And once they get in here, they're on our mailing list. They're a college student. They're looking for internships and jobs, and we will take them through the process and get them where they need to be. So I encourage you to have your students sign up. And once again, our goal is to help you help the students. I'll stop there, Brother Jones, see if anybody has any questions. Just wanted to give a quick overview so everybody knows what we're doing.
Yeah, this is Brother Soap from East St. Louis Alumni Chapter. Your program, I know you mentioned it's geared towards Kappa League. Would you allow the parents, or do you have a workshop for the parents so they can as well as support the program itself, so the kids can be consistent on the program?
Oh yeah, every monthly meeting is with the kids and the parents, because I have to help the parents help the kids and be a part of this process.
Okay.
That is 100% right. Every monthly meeting, it's the parent, it's the kid, and it's the Kappa League brother. Now in the private sector, it's the parent and the kid.
Okay, thank you, brother.
Yeah. One last thing I did want to say is I'm starting partnerships with universities. I have my first partnership with IU. I'm already working with the brothers in Indianapolis, and they are anyone who comes through my program and gets accepted to IU, they're giving them a scholarship. If they're in Indiana, and by the way, it has to be in the education department where Brother Elder Watson Diggs was, and he graduated and become a teacher. They're giving them scholarships just because they went through my program. If they're in Indiana and they want to be a teacher, there is a 90% chance plus they'll get a full ride education. So I've reached out to 7 other schools now. So I'm trying to work with anybody, any universities that I'm working with. They can actually, if my students go through my program and get accepted, guess what? They get a scholarship. I'm working with UC Berkeley right now. I am working with UC Santa Clara. I'm working with Georgia. So I'm trying to get more and more schools just to accept it. And the last thing is I have 4 major companies, Meta, Microsoft, Google, and IBM, who have slots reserved for my students for internships and jobs.
And if I could ask you real quickly, Brother Smith, you have a couple of sons and he has a couple of friends that have all been through your program. And so they're kind of alumni of your program. Can you tell us a little bit about them?
So I'll give you a good example. This is my oldest son, and he actually he came friends with these 5 African-American men at Oklahoma University his freshman year. And I had a chance to mentor all of them, of course, my son. But my son graduated in 3.5 years, finished in 4.5 with his master's. He's at JP Morgan. This guy is at Northrop Grumman as a mechanical engineer. He's in business at Frito-Lay in Chicago. He's at he's at Lockheed Martin in mechanical engineering. He's at BP Oil in civil engineering, and he's in sales and finance with Frito-Lay in Tulsa. So this is 5 or 6 success stories of people that I've helped and that we've gone through the process with. But the other thing that's cool is my donations. 95% of my donations are from everyone on this site is a mentee of mine. There's my youngest son. But these are people that even all of my advisory champions are usually mentors or mentees of mine. And I get them to donate and give back to me. I get about $8,000 to $10,000 from Google a year. I get about 6 or 7 from Microsoft. And these are students that I've helped who give me donations, and they get matching donations, and then they come help other people. This is one of my guys. He's $150K in New York City at Google right now. He gives me $1,000 a month, and so forth and so on. So my program, it feeds itself. Is kind of how I like to look at it. Is we don't make any money, we don't take any money, and what we do is ask people that we helped to help us. And I don't ask you for any donations until after your 2nd year of working.
All right. So, brothers, the link to Brother Smith's program is in the chat.
That's to the Kappa Leaguers to sign up. I'll give you the link to, I'm sorry, you're right. That link is for your Kappa Leaguers to sign up and join my program.
So there's a link in here in the chat for your Kappa Leaguers to sign up and join your program. And you have some spots left right now, right, Brother Smith?
I do. Last I checked, I have 101 Kappa Leaguers signed up, and we got 150 cap.
All right. So there's 49 spots there. So if you have a young man that you think could benefit from a program like that, please go down in the chat, get this link so that we can start using some of the network of Kappa Alpha Psi to be able to help these young men to move forward. And so now our final presenter tonight, I have been working with him for the last couple of years. He was the president of the MAC pole marks down in Atlanta. He has worked with me on the Black College Expo. He's made a bunch of videos for us about getting young men ready for college. And he has a website and workbook series called College Readiness 101. And so I'd like to introduce him to you, brothers, and anything that he has that you can use. I'm sure that he'd be happy to help you in any way. This is Brother Brandon Jones.
Good evening, brothers. I hope everybody's doing well. For those over on the East Coast, I'm gonna try to make this as short as possible. I know it's 10 o'clock for us out here, but real quickly, past pole mark, Noonan Fairbairn alumni chapter of Kappa Alpha Psi, past pole mark, chairman of the MAC, founder of the MAC here in Atlanta as well, the Metro Atlanta Coalition of Kappas. And so my background is in college admissions and recruitment, student affairs, student retention, Title IX, kind of done a lot of things on a college campus. And we have created a curriculum to help students understand what it is they need to do to prepare for college each year, 8th grade through 12th grade. So there is a workbook series, an award-winning workbook series that allows students to kind of build on themselves and understand what they need to do in their specific grade level. So it's being used all around the country. We are excited about the impact that it is making. And we also believe in a 2-generational approach. So there is a parent series to help parents understand what they need to do to prepare their household for their child's upcoming high school to college transition. But what I want everybody to understand is that, you know, a lot of Kappa League programs and ours, you know, has been as well as major focus on exposure, you know, and I think we've all got to a point now where we understand that exposure is not enough, right? We need to be a little bit more strategic on what we are doing with the students. Everybody's not going to a 4-year university. Some will be going to a 2-year community college, a technical college, entering the military or entering the workforce. And so we want to make sure that we can identify the young men that we are working with to put them on the best path for success based on their will, skill, and their interests. And so the thing that I want to get across to you tonight is that if there is a need for a standalone curriculum, if there is a need for series for parents, or if there is a need for understanding how to put on, you know, college preparatory, college access events, this is something that College Readiness 101 can do. We have here also Brother Chris Key, who's a part of College Readiness 101, who's on the call as well, from the Conyers Covington chapter here in Atlanta. And we're putting on a lot of events, college fairs. We put on an annual college readiness boot camp, a college case study, so that students and parents understand how college recruiters are making decisions in those rooms. And so that students can modify their applications to what college recruiters are looking for. And we host an annual college-bound parent summit. It's actually only for the parents. And we're breaking down what parents need to know with college personnel, college access professionals, myself and others, as we are just breaking down what parents need to know as their child progresses and matriculates through high school to college. And so that information at my website is collegereadiness101.com. That is collegereadiness101.com. And I'll put that link also in the chat. But I just wanted to make sure that everybody knew that this is a curriculum, a standalone stair-step curriculum that could be used immediately in your chapters to be able to build upon what you're already doing to be a part of your college and career preparatory programming. And so I'm going to add that chat. I know that we're getting, you know, late on the East Coast, so I want to make sure that I didn't take too much of your time, but I did want to share College Readiness 101 with all of the brothers who are on the call tonight.
And Noop, are you putting the link into the chat right now?
Yes, I'll put it in right now.
All right. Well, then we're going to wrap up this meeting. We would really, Noops, like to get on top of this July 1st beginning of the college application process and getting these first applications out by August 1st. The whole thing, and we're going to be doing more of these. And the whole thing about these is getting them into college, which we're already working on, and getting them out of college without a mountain of debt. And if we can use our collective genius and our collective network to help these young men to find the money for college, then we will have done a tremendous service to our Kappa Leaguers. Now, Brother Cunningham had mentioned that that some young men are not financially able to apply to a bunch of schools. One of the things that we have you seen over the last couple of years, we have a relationship with the Common Black College app, which allows you to apply to over 50 or 60 HBCUs for only $20, and Kappa League TV picks up that cost.
Then I saw where he said he received $1.2 million. $1.2 million in scholarship offers. So I'm like, we got to get this brother on.
Here's a list of the top 10 Kappa-led HBCUs and the qualifications to receive a full ride scholarship. If you're a Kappa man in executive leadership and you want your university to be added to this list, just contact us at kappaleaguetv@gmail.com. Kappa League TV!